So you've seen all the like every one of the ones that they made. What is?
I think so.
What is their deal? Like what were they meant to represent? What were they meant to be when Dumas? Landon is holding up a book right now, which he probably does all the time. Oh my god, and he's flipping the pages.
Yeah.
What was it meant to be? What was Dumas' intent with these dudes?
Oh man, what a loaded question.
You're welcome.
The book is so much more political than any of the adaptations I've seen. I'm going to go on record and say the definitive Three Musketeers hasn't been made yet. There are some good, fun adaptations. The Richard Lester one is a lot of fun. I stand by the 1991 Disney film with Chris O'Donnell and Oliver Platt, Tim Curry.
Ooh.
That's a lot of fun.
I'll bet.
The French actually made their first Three Musketeers since the 60s in 2024. They did a two-part series called Part 1 D'Artagnan, Part 2 Milady. And that's a lot of fun, too, until it starts to feel like kind of a HBO melodrama at a certain point instead of a big screen epic.
I
feel
like that risk is always there. Yeah.
The thing is, with the adaptations, everyone kind of picks what they want to fit the tone. So, like, some are more swashbuckly, some are more political, some are straight up slapstick. There's a Gene Kelly one that I quite like, but it's tonally so different than any other Three Musketeers I've read or watched, short of the Three Caballeros.
Okay, so let me take a stab at when you say it's political. I'm assuming it's because this is written in 1844, about 50 years after the French Revolution. I get the impression that it's a lot of like Dumas created these characters who are fighting for the ideals of the French Revolution, trying to protect France's democracy in a post-Napoleonic era. No, Landon shaking his head. Okay. Then what was these guys' deal?
Well, Dumas was of... Oh my god. This is going to be so boring to half of the Aussie audience listening to this, but partly because we covered this already on Monte Cristo. Dumas was a romantic writer of like as the movement of romanticism.
Yeah. And such. Yes.
That was in response to that kind of Age of Enlightenment. So the rationale, the logic, the idealism is kind of out the door in favor of more expressive, abstract, like messiness. I like to think of it as just like we're now painting with gradients. And the Three Musketeers themselves, short of D'Artagnan, are really, really just messy characters. They're so... I think they're interesting because they have a kind of real vibe to them. Like Aramis... And we don't have to belabor this now. We can bring this out as we talk about how this film today actually portrays these characters. But, like, as one example, Aramis in the book does have an abiding love for the seminary, for God, for wanting to, become a priest, and is constantly, whether he knows it or not as a character, he's constantly battling the life of a, musketeer, the adventuring, the women, with his, like... The one thing this movie does in that regard is give Aramis this line that says, "We are soldiers without a purpose."
Yeah.
And the deepest this movie goes.
Which is, it's dipping a toe into the concept of these guys being about anything other than kind of waving a sword around and saying a B- quip.
Yeah. But to take that idea and then go, well, I don't have a purpose, therefore I'm going to turn my purpose to be God. But the second that something distracts me from that, I'm going to go and be a musketeer again for a while. So it is okay living in that, like, I'm not strictly devout to religion, even though I say I am. It has a deeper psychological character to it, to all of them.
Subscribe to Movie Memory Machine for new forgotten movies every other Friday, available wherever you listen to podcasts.